Welcome to the NBA Prop Pick Show powered by EV Analytics. I'm Bob Miller. He's Adam Scherher. Adam coming off a 1-0 show last game. Alex Caruso over 2.5 assists plus money, and that comes through. He ends the game with 4 dimes. I end up losing my prop. Miles Turner over 14.5 points. He did not shoot it well. He did not play good. He did not look good. Turns out he was actually sick, and they didn't announce that till after the game. So 1-1 last show. Adam with the big plus money winner. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel here. Adam, Pacers up 2-1 in the series. Has your opinion changed at all, or are you sticking to the Thunder as well?
I mean, still sticking to the Thunder, but this is the first time I've actually been concerned about the series. Like, I thought Indiana looked really good, and I'd said it on the show going into last game that I was nervous for that game because I do think Carlisle is such a good coach, and I thought that there was a chance that they would make adjustments going back home, and we saw them make adjustments. They played really well defensively. So I am a little concerned because, like, I think Dagnall's a good coach too, but I do think Carlisle has the edge, and we've kind of seen in game 1 and game 3, Carlisle kind of do things that seemingly kind of outclass Dagnall, I think. So I am concerned there. I mean, you could very easily have Indiana go up 3-1 here at home, and clearly that's not a place that you want to be no matter how good you are.
Yeah, I cannot believe it's June. We're doing Game 4 NBA Finals for a show here, and we're talking about the Indiana Pacers up 2-1 in the NBA Finals, regardless of who they're even just being in the NBA Finals, and they're up 2-1 on the Thunder. I totally agree with you. You know, after Game 1, it was kind of, and I know you're of the same opinion too. It's like, okay, they shot 53s. You know, they shoot just under 50%. They win by 1. Kind of a lucky game, I would say. You definitely should have lost. Still like the Thunder, but Game 3. They looked like the better team. Like, that was not, and actually the Thunder actually shot a little better from 3 than the Pacers did in that game. So they look like the better team. And now you're like, maybe I have like after Game 3, in my opinion, like, you kind of started to change where I'm not so sure now about the Thunder here. I thought what really stood out to me is I feel like Rick Carlisle told his guys like Nesmith, Nembhard, McConnell, all these guys, hey, if the Thunder, you know, they're so deep, they play really aggressive defense. They don't really worry if they foul out because they have so many guys. Let's do the same thing, because that's what it looked like to me. It was like, pick them up full court, hand check them as much as you want. Let's get crazy here. And then that's kind of, and you saw like even like that opening series, Nembhard was up in the grill of SGA, and SGA ended up picking up the offensive foul. I felt like that was a tone setter. It's like, we are going to hand check you as much as you hand check us. We do not care if we foul out. We'll just go to our bench. And it felt like they really met the Thunder in their strength. And yeah, we have a series now. You can see there on the screen. Oklahoma City minus 230, Indiana Pacers plus 190. I feel like right now is where you like take a stand. If you think the Thunder are going to win, you should probably grab the minus 230. That's the best price. What, they're like minus 800. If you think the Pacers are going to win, this is probably your last chance, because if they win this one, I feel like they're up 3-1, and then it does feel like it's kind of closing time for the Pacers. So I feel like whatever side of the fence you want to be on right now is kind of where you got to make that call, because if the Thunder win this Game 4, tie it 2-2, go back to Oklahoma City, it does feel like they're back in control of the series. So
yeah, I took OKC minus 300 after Game 1, and there were a lot of ways that Game 3 could have gone in a loss where I think I would have added more, but the way it went, I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll stay where I'm at. Like, I'm not adding more onto this. Like, I mean, I think you can make the case that, like, yeah, okay, you're going to lose the game where Benedict Mathurin scores 27 points. You turn the ball over a ton. Like, there's still, you know, luck arguments you can make for OKC from Game 3, but not nearly as much as you could Game 1.
No, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, oh, lucky game from Benedict Mathurin, but it's the defense. It's the defense that really stood out to me, where you're just like, they were pressuring him. The Thunder looked like they had a hard time bringing up the ball. And you're like, this is the NBA. That usually doesn't, you know, usually a press doesn't really bother NBA teams. They still are able to bring it up. And the Thunder look really bothered by it. So, yeah, there was a lot of things on film where I'm like, I was the same as you. I was like, you know, Thunder minus 220. I was like, I would have killed for this price before the series started. But I'm like, man, what I saw on film in Game 3 kind of made me stay away. So,
yeah. It's the same thing you and I had said Game 1. Like, Indiana fans were saying, you know, oh, well, Indiana turned it over more than they ever will. So it wasn't actually a lucky win. And it was like, yeah, but OKC's defense is so good. I feel the same way about Game 3. Like, yeah, OKC turned it over a ton and probably won't going forward. But Indiana forced those turnovers. It's not like OKC was just like sloppy and, you know, dribbling balls off their feet and stuff.
Those TJ McConnell steals on the inbounds pass, I used to do that in high school all the time. It was good for one layup per game, where you just pretend like you're not paying attention and then turn around and literally just jump the inbounds pass because nobody expects it. That was hilarious. I love those plays. TJ McConnell, hell of a game for the Pacers too. let's get rolling. We have 2 picks for tonight. We're going to DraftKings for the very first one. And speaking of defense, we're going Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 33.5 points, minus 110 at DraftKings. Once again, that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 33.5 points, minus 110. Adam, you want to break this one down?
Yeah, I think this was one of the big shifts that we saw defensively from Indiana last game was keeping the ball out of SGA's hands, limiting his time of possession. If you look at the first 2 games of this series, he averaged I think 73 or 74 touches per game. He averaged 8.8, I think it was, seconds per touch. In game 3, he only had 64 touches. He touched the ball less than Jalen Williams did. He only averaged 6.5 or just north of 6 seconds per touch. It's 6.5 minutes total, where he had been 8.5 earlier in the series. So I think you saw Indiana kind of change their game plan and look to keep the ball out of his hands as opposed to looking to kind of let him get his to some extent and limit everything other than him. We saw that change and it worked. I don't think they're gonna just go away from it here in game 4. So I liked that we didn't see the scoring line drop. It's not like it's 31.5, it's not 32.5, it's the same thing it was last game. So after seeing the change from Indiana, seeing the way it impacted SGA in that game, I like taking the under here.
Yeah, aren't you really surprised it didn't drop? I expected this to drop too, like you said, 31, 32. He scores 24 in Indiana. 33.5 is a high total for just in general, but from what you saw in game 3 there, I really loved the Pacers. I felt like they put the pressure on Nembhard game 1, game 2. Felt like game 3, you saw any opportunity. So if Jalen Williams was on the bench and SGA was on the floor, they actually switched and they put Nesmith on SGA. Just felt like it was different looks instead of always being Nembhard. And then TJ McConnell's too small to guard SGA in the half court, but he's not too small to pick him up 94 feet and be very annoying and have 6 fouls to give. So you saw them doing things that we're just going to give you different looks, but we're also going to do it at times where we don't think SGA can burn us. So here's just a different guy in this spot type thing. And then I think it also just allowed Nembhard, guarding SGA for, 40 minutes. That's obviously that's a really exhausting task. So just to kind of be able to give that to someone else, it probably allows Nembhard to be more physical when he's on him as well. So I loved what the Pacers were doing. We're going SGA under 33.5 points, minus 110 as the first bet. We're going to bet MGM for the second one. And I can't believe this is a line, by the way. We're looking for Aaron Nesmith there. So it's Aaron Nesmith over half assists, minus 110. That's what 1.91 is. So once again, that's Aaron Nesmith over half assists, minus 110. Adam, you want to break this one down?
Yeah, hopefully Aaron Nesmith converts one of his 2 to 3 potential assists. But the things that I like here, you have it, over half of an assist. He is averaging 2.7 potential assists per game in this series, despite only averaging 26 minutes per game. And I think that his playing time is certainly volatile, as you've seen throughout the series. In game 1, he played about 31 minutes, then he played 26, then he played 22 last game. It is volatile, but on average, I do still expect him to be playing somewhere around 30 minutes, even, factoring in that volatility. You look at game 2 where he played 26 minutes. That game was a blowout. He didn't get back on the floor in the fourth quarter, whereas normally he's going to get closing minutes in a competitive game. Last game, he only played 22 minutes, had a little bit of foul trouble in the first half, but then you also had the Benedict Mathurin game where Benedict Mathurin can't miss, and so he's staying on the floor. He's playing more minutes than he normally would, and that cuts into Nesmith a bit. So it's not that he's a high assist guy by any stretch, but on average, I expect 28 to 30 minutes somewhere in there. There are going to be plenty of times it goes under, plenty of times it goes over. But even in the 26 minutes per game in this series, you're getting 2.7 potential assists. Again, that's not a high number, but it's high enough when you're talking about just needing a single assist.
It's high for a total of half. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's a 2 points. I made a joke yesterday. I think I wrote it somewhere on a cover somewhere that I'm like, this is a Rudy Gobert line. This is Aaron Nesmith. And this is what Rudy Gobert trades at for an assist. And you talk about an offense that's just free flowing and everyone touches it and you keep swinging and the ball doesn't stick. You really just don't even have to do anything that spectacular to get one assist. That's all he needs is one assist, right? You're on the floor, you're a starter, you're an offense that moves. It's not like they just go, hey, Nesmith, go stand in the corner and you don't touch it on offense. So that's not how their offense flows. So I was looking at this yesterday and I was like, why is this like half? And then this is actually even money yesterday. And you're like, even money at a half? That's pretty crazy. It's one assist, right? For Aaron Nesmith. And like you said, 2.7 potential assists per game. What was the minutes projection you guys have for Nesmith. Do you have that or?
Yeah, 29, which
Okay.
like again, I think on average that's fine. You could argue maybe like 20 anywhere in like 26 to 28 just to kind of get a little bit more of that downside volatility that he comes with. But yeah, 29 we have him projected for 1.3. So I mean, you can drop that minutes projection a pretty decent amount. Like when I saw the line at 0.5, I expected to pull up the series and see that he was averaging like 0.8 potential assists or something, just completely uninvolved. If I had looked at his potential assists for the series first before I looked at the line, I would have absolutely just assumed the line was 1.5.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing. This is so funny. So this will be one of my bets on before you bet later is that I'm giving it to Aaron Nesmith. I did the same thing. I was like, okay, he must be averaging like less than maybe one potential assist per game, or like 2.7, converting to I think it was like 0.3, so one per game on the whole series. And you're like, okay, yeah, I can definitely work with this. And like you said, the minutes projection, it's like, okay, if you're hitting about 29, 1.3, even if you went down to like 25, about 1, that's still good plus EV on this half. And like, I definitely think he's more than a 25-minute guy. Depending on how things break, he could easily go over 30. So, yeah, this is one of those. Let's hit it. So we're going SGA. The two bets for today, we're going SGA under 33.5 points, minus 110 at DraftKings. And then the second bet is Aaron Nesmith over half assist, 1 assist, minus 110 at BetMGM. Adam, any closing thoughts for the series? Did you go to the Tigers-Orioles game yesterday?
No, I was going to, but I didn't sleep well the night before. I didn't feel like going. And I mean, it would have been cool to see Scooble, but the O's sucked anyway. So not too upset I missed it, but nah, I missed it.
Yeah, he walked you guys. It was a very disappointing for outing for Scooble there. But all right, this concludes the NBA Prop Pick Show powered by EV Analytics. We will be back Monday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Good luck with your bets. Enjoy Game 4. Del, play the song.